Imagine a leader vanishing under the cover of darkness, undertaking a secret late-night journey thousands of miles away to a nation few expected, and in doing so, sparking a continent-wide shockwave of speculation and concern. Picture the feeling of uncertainty, the sudden realization that the geopolitical map you thought you understood is being redrawn in secret. Have you ever been completely blindsided by an unexpected partnership between powerful entities? What does it truly feel like when the rules you thought governed international relations suddenly seem to change overnight? This isn't a hypothetical scenario from a spy thriller. It's the reality of a mystery that unfolded recently. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso undertook a clandestine midnight visit to Saudi Arabia. This move was so unexpected, so shrouded in secrecy, that it didn't just surprise. It shocked Africa and immediately ignited intense speculation about the potential beginning of a historic alliance. Why the extreme secrecy surrounding this journey? What urgent matters could only be discussed in the dead of night, far from the public eye? Why Saudi Arabia, a nation not traditionally seen as a primary partner for a Sahelian country? And is this mystery midnight meeting truly the catalyst for a historic alliance that could fundamentally reshape the geopolitical landscape of Africa and beyond? Stay tuned as we attempt to unravel this complex geopolitical mystery with you. But first, if the idea of secret midnight visits and the potential for shifting global power dynamics intrigues you, hit that like button right now and subscribe to Magnificent Story for more deep dives into the hidden currents of political trends. Across the African continent, and particularly within the fragile expanse of the Sahel region, the political landscape had become increasingly volatile and unpredictable. It was a complex mix of entrenched internal conflicts, persistent security challenges posed by extremist groups, and a palpable, growing desire among nations to assert their sovereignty and pursue independent foreign policies, often challenging long-standing relationships with traditional external powers. In the heart of this turbulence stood Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. He had rapidly emerged as a prominent figure, embodying this new, defiant posture and a clear willingness to look beyond conventional partners in the search for genuine support. Burkina Faso, like many of its neighbors, faced urgent needs not only for significant resources to fund national development but, crucially, for effective security cooperation to counter the relentless threats jeopardizing its stability. This environment created an atmosphere thick with anticipation and speculation on the global stage. Everyone watched closely to see where leaders like Captain Traoré, determined to chart their own course, would turn next for the vital backing their nations required. It was against this backdrop of regional flux and global observation that a sudden, unannounced event occurred. An event so unexpected and so carefully concealed that it immediately captured the attention of those who monitor the subtle shifts in international power. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso undertook a mystery midnight visit to Saudi Arabia. This was no routine diplomatic travel. The extreme secrecy surrounding the trip was its defining characteristic. There was no official announcement from Ouagadougou or Riyadh preceding his departure or arrival. State media in neither country carried reports of his presence. Knowledge of the visit was confined to an exceptionally tight circle within Captain Traoré's most trusted advisors and his Saudi hosts. The decision to execute this journey under the cover of darkness, arriving and departing with minimal visibility, amplified its mysterious nature exponentially. It wasn't just a private meeting, it was a clandestine operation. This level of stealth immediately elevated the visit from what might have been perceived as a standard diplomatic trip to a significant geopolitical enigma. It signaled that the purpose was either highly sensitive, incredibly urgent, or both, sparking immediate questions about the true agenda behind Captain Traoré's unexpected appearance in the kingdom in the dead of night. When news of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's mystery midnight visit to Saudi Arabia inevitably leaked, filtering through the intricate networks of intelligence analysts and prompting carefully worded inquiries between foreign ministries, it didn't just cause a stir. It landed like a shockwave across the entire African continent. The reaction was one of profound surprise, quickly followed by deep concern. But why such a strong reaction? Why was Saudi Arabia such an unexpected destination for the leader of a Sahelian nation like Burkina Faso? For decades, the primary external partners for security and development in the Sahel had largely been Western powers, with more recent shifts seeing increased engagement from nations like Russia or Turkey. Saudi Arabia, while a significant global player with growing economic interests in various parts of Africa, had not been a traditional security or political heavyweight in the Sahelian context in the same way. The visit bypassed the usual diplomatic channels, sidestepping regional blocs and established protocols, suggesting a direct, perhaps urgent, agenda that didn't fit the conventional framework. This unexpected destination, coupled with the extreme secrecy surrounding the trip, was deeply unsettling for many African leaders and observers. It signaled a potential pivot, a willingness by Burkina Faso to forge ties in an entirely new direction, one that could fundamentally alter regional dynamics and challenge existing relationships without prior consultation or warning. The shock that reverberated across Africa wasn't merely surprise at the destination. It was the sudden, stark realization that Burkina Faso was willing to explore alliances far outside the established norms, potentially leaving traditional partners and even neighboring countries blindsided and uncertain about the future geopolitical alignment of the region. With the news of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's mystery midnight visit to Saudi Arabia sending shockwaves across Africa, the immediate and most pressing question became, what was the purpose of this clandestine meeting? Speculation ran rampant, but one possibility, hinted at by the very title of this story, rose to the forefront: the potential beginning of a historic alliance. Saudi Arabia, a nation possessing vast economic resources derived from its immense energy wealth, has increasingly sought to diversify its international relationships and expand its influence beyond the Middle East. For a nation like Burkina Faso, facing significant financial constraints and urgent development needs, Saudi Arabia could potentially offer substantial investment without the historical baggage or political conditionalities often attached to aid from traditional Western partners. This could include significant capital injections into key sectors like mining, infrastructure development, or agriculture, providing a crucial boost to Captain Traoré's ambitious national projects. Furthermore, and perhaps even more critically given Burkina Faso's security challenges, Saudi Arabia could potentially provide valuable security assistance. This might range from funding for military equipment and training programs to intelligence sharing tailored to counter extremist threats in the Sahel. For Captain Ibrahim Traoré, such a partnership would be immensely attractive. It would offer an alternative source of support, reducing reliance on partners whose interests might not always align perfectly with his government's priorities. It would provide the necessary funding for vital national projects and, crucially, enhance Burkina Faso's capacity to address its security crisis more independently. This potential alliance, therefore, could be envisioned as encompassing both significant economic cooperation and crucial security collaboration, specifically tailored to meet Burkina Faso's immediate and long-term needs under Captain Traoré's vision of self-reliance. Following the leak of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's mystery midnight visit to Saudi Arabia, the initial shock across Africa quickly gave way to a flurry of activity beneath the surface of official diplomacy. Whispers and rumors began to circulate rapidly through political capitals and security circles. Diplomatic cables buzzed with urgent requests for information, as foreign ministries scrambled to understand the implications of this unexpected development. Across think tanks and analytical firms, experts found themselves poring over limited data points, attempting to piece together the puzzle. Analysts like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Jr., a political scientist specializing in West African affairs, and Ms. Anya Sharma, an international security consultant, were at the forefront of these efforts. They pondered a multitude of questions. Was this visit a move born purely out of necessity, driven by urgent security needs? Or was it a calculated strategic play to gain leverage? Was it a direct consequence of perceived insufficient support from traditional partners, a signal of dissatisfaction? Or perhaps a preemptive move to secure vital resources before potential future pressures or sanctions? This uncertainty was keenly felt in neighboring countries. Officials expressed quiet but palpable concern. A senior diplomat from a West African nation, Ambassador Diallo, privately voiced his apprehension about the lack of transparency. "It's the secrecy that worries us the most," he confided to his aide, a young woman named Aminata. When such significant visits happen outside the usual framework without warning, it creates uncertainty for everyone in the region. What were the terms of any potential agreement? How does this affect regional stability and our own relationships? We are all trying desperately to understand the unfiltered reality behind this mystery. The clandestine nature of the visit fueled speculation and highlighted the growing trend of African nations pursuing independent foreign policies, sometimes to the discomfort of both regional neighbors and international powers accustomed to more predictable alignments. What do you think was the real reason behind this mystery midnight visit? Was it purely strategic or something more urgent driven by immediate needs? Share your theories and insights in the comments below. Should a significant alliance between Burkina Faso and Saudi Arabia truly materialize from that mystery midnight visit, its potential consequences could be far-reaching. impacting not just the two nations involved but the wider African continent and the global geopolitical landscape. For Captain Ibrahim Traoré, such a partnership could provide crucial leverage on the international stage, significantly diversifying Burkina Faso's international backing and potentially reducing reliance on traditional partners whose support may have been perceived as insufficient or conditional. This newfound flexibility could empower Burkina Faso to pursue its national interests with greater autonomy. For Saudi Arabia, a strategic foothold in a critical region like the Sahel represents an opportunity to expand its influence beyond its traditional sphere. It aligns with the kingdom's broader vision of becoming a major global player, contributing to its economic diversification goals and enhancing its diplomatic reach in Africa. However, such an alliance would not be without its complexities and potential criticisms. Domestically, questions might arise regarding the terms of any agreements and their impact on national sovereignty. Internationally, the partnership could face scrutiny from traditional powers concerned about shifting alignments and from those who question the human rights records or political systems of either nation. This event serves as a powerful illustration of the broader trend of African nations increasingly pursuing independent foreign policies, making pragmatic choices based on their perceived national interests, a development that often causes discomfort and requires reassessment from established global powers accustomed to more predictable relationships. So, we've explored the mystery, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's clandestine midnight visit to Saudi Arabia, a move so unexpected it sent shockwaves across Africa, sparking intense speculation about the potential beginning of a historic alliance. Despite the ripple effects, the core mystery largely remains, with minimal official details confirming the specifics of what transpired behind closed doors. The central question posed by our title still hangs in the air, loaded with potential. Historic alliance begins? This event serves as a powerful reminder that in the rapidly evolving world of political trends, significant shifts can sometimes begin with secretive moves, forcing a continent and the world to ponder the unfiltered reality of unexpected partnerships and their potential to reshape the future. Don't miss our future investigations and analyses into these complex global dynamics. Make sure you're subscribed to Magnificent Story and have notifications turned on so you don't miss out. Thank you for watching.